Good evening, boys and girls. It's the late night football show here on the Highbury Squad. It's the spontaneous football show. And guess who's in the house? It's a bit of a surprise. Wasn't supposed to be here today. So it's a bit of a treat. And we're going to go down memory lane just a tad. And we're going to take joy in the fact that Spurs lost their first leg. Here we go. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. Good evening, boys and girls. It is EFL Cup time. Look at that picture, eh? Look at that picture. Look how lucky you guys are. Who's that dude holding the grand old League Cup right there in the front, wearing that classic shirt? Oh, there
Paul
he
Davis.
is.
It's Paul Davis. Yeah. Pops. Me and Pops were holding it.
Oh, look at that. Super Kev, you weren't supposed to be on tonight. I went a bit later, and here you are, my podcast brother from another mother, Super Kev, Super King Campbell.
Good to be on. A nice little surprise. But when you get one, I have to take one away. So if you know that.
I know.
You know what's
It's
happening
right.
tomorrow.
I know.
Because the game's not on, I've been called in to do a little bit of graft. So
that's all right.
Look, so we get this one. Squaddies at ease.
Kev, that's a great night of football, isn't it? Anytime Tottenham lose.
Of course. Of course
I tell
it
you.
is. Of course
Kev,
it is. And they shot themselves in the foot as well.
They haven't. I know they're undefeated in the league when it comes to Antonio Conte and his takeover. But my God, they've been playing absolutely terrible, terrible football. Good evening, all the usual suspects in the house. They've not been great, Kev. They've not been playing good football.
I thought the game against Liverpool, both teams played okay. Both teams done all right on the night. And that was a weaker Liverpool team, let's be honest. But again, we have to wait and see, don't we, how this Conte Spurs shakes out. Because tonight we still see they've got mistakes in them. We still see, they're not. Of course, they want to win, but it was a pretty easy win for Chelsea. Let's be honest.
They should have won 4-0, Kev.
Yeah, and if it would have been more, that was going to be my next point. So, to be honest, if it would have been 3 or 4, nobody could argue.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, maybe they've got off a little light, even at 2-0 losing. So.
And Mr. Lukaku missed a great opportunity in the first half, didn't he, to make it 3-0. Ziyech, some kind of cheap giveaways. But, 2-0 up going into the second leg. You got to fancy Chelsea now, although anything's possible in football, Kev, especially at their grand old stadium, their own trophy that they've won since it was built.
What trophy?
Crying out loud.
What
the stadium
trophy?
is their trophy.
No, but what trophy? What trophy is it? I mean,
that's all they rave about. It's like a trophy.
Well.
It's their only shiny thing that they have.
Well,
Kev, we have the usual suspects in the house. Good evening to everyone who has joined us.
Hit it on the way in, please.
Magic Mike, come. Oh, look, Magic Mike. What do you see there? That's Kev. With the League Cup. Kev, I don't want to get too much stuck into it's not Dicky Bow Thursday, Taib. It's Hump Day. It's Wednesday. So, that's how it goes. Oh, look, Ethelston. What did you think of your team tonight?
Oh, geez. Ethelston's not happy.
I can't believe he showed. I'll tell you something, Kev. It takes balls to show up in an Arsenal chat room on an Arsenal YouTube channel as a Spurs fan.
I'll give Ethelston some credit, to be honest, Sophie. Win or lose, he tends to show up.
He does.
And that's respect, you know what I mean? I've got to respect that because sometimes we might be the ones who make better hashing of it, you know, looking at it than if he was on probably listening to a Spurs one. So, you know, respect to him for that, to be honest. But
Totally.
Sophie, let's be real now. Of all the hullabaloo about Conte, and he is a world-class manager,
Yep.
Spurs are not there yet. Do you know what I mean? They're not there yet. And to take on a Chelsea team who know how to win, Hugo, they know how to win, Soph. And sometimes these are the little differences. You know, you got a good squad, you got good players, but they don't know how to win. And that's what they've got to try and do by hook or by crook. They've got to try and get over the, you know, maybe not going to make Eccleston feel any better, but that's what you've got to do. We've got to do that with our youngsters, Soph. We really have to. We have to get over the line with our youngsters and get in a final and win. Get that taste.
I mean, I think we've shown Ethel's a gunner trapped in a spud's body. Kev, I think Chelsea is, of course, a team that we like to play in a cup final. We've shown that. Would you rather meet them in the final than once our leg actually gets played? Would you rather meet Chelsea than Tottenham in the final?
For me, I don't care. Because it's about winning. You have to beat some of the best teams. And you know what? We've got a little sign over Chelsea. At Wembley especially. So I don't care who it is. As long as we win, I don't care. But, you know, if we're going to play Chelsea, let's roll with it. Let's go with it. And but obviously we've got a, you know, we haven't got a semi-final tomorrow, have we?
No,
and
we've got to wait now.
That's what's causing that's going to cause some friction for us now, as opposed to them. And you know what, Sophie? I don't want to go into it too much, but I understand all what's going on. Of course we do. We're not stupid. We understand what's going on. But it's not the same for each team. There's an inconsistency. Just like we spoke about the refs earlier on this. Now there's still an inconsistency about who gets games called off. I believe Leyton Orient had to play a game.
But to forfeit.
Yeah. They had to forfeit a game. Didn't Aston Villa have to play kids? Liverpool played kids last year.
Did you see the shade Villa threw on? They threw some shade today on Twitter.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all very unfortunate, Kev, but I've got to say I'm getting on with it because it is what it is. I don't want us to become whining at FC either, right?
So I'm not blaming Liverpool.
Right, no.
I'm blaming the authorities.
Correct.
Because if there's clear jurisdiction and laws, then you know what to do. But when it's sketchy and it's not clear, how could one team get a game postponed and another team not? And they're in the same position. That's my argument.
I think most Arsenal fans feel the same way. Let's get this sorted. Let's make it all clear and concise, you know, and that way we can move forward with clarity and understand a little bit more of what is going on. Everyone just wants to make sure your central heating's all right there, Kev.
My central heating is fine. I've just got in, you see. So I came in and it's bloody freezing outside. And it takes me a little while to get warm, man. So this hat ain't coming off yet. Trust me.
We're lucky we got Kev when we did tonight, you guys. And because of the schedule
you're damn
change.
right as well, so you're lucky I'm here.
I always just like send a little, hey, Kev, when I do that, when I send him can you set, are we going to do a video tonight? And then all of a sudden he's like, what time you going on? And I go, 10 o'clock. He goes, it's all right. I can make it. And because of our schedule change, we're lucky to have him here tonight and he's working tomorrow night. So that's okay with me because I thought what might be fun tonight is to do a nice little shorty, Jenny. I tell you, Russ is rubbing off on her, Kev.
I just ignore people like that, to be honest. Especially with a husband like Russ, I just ignore him.
I'm wondering if he ever got his tea last night. He was in chat complaining
No
about it.
chance.
Oh, amazing. Casey loses heat through his bonds.
Of course.
Yeah. You listen, I wear a beanie all the time. I love it, and I got hair. It's that time of year, isn't it? Kev, teleport to SoCal, USA. We'd love him.
Oh, I tell you what. Oh my God, I'd love that.
He's got a room
Whoa,
here
would
if
I
he
love
wants.
it? Yeah, I'd love it.
He may have to fight Vinny and Vespa for it, but it's here.
No. We will. They could come with me. Don't worry. We'll make it work.
Special Ops Kev. Speaking of Special Ops Kev, I wanted to go back a little bit because I love the League Cup. And I know that there are some managers that have come into the league, Kev, that may not understand it as much as we do, but I truly believe I will give Pep Guardiola a lot of respect for the respect he has shown, especially to the League Cup. I mean, Manchester City have been perennial winners. Man, we were unlucky in the final. Well, we weren't unlucky. They trounced us, really. But I love it. I've always loved it. And I love how every single team in the league, every league, gets the opportunity to win this. What it does for smaller clubs, the revenue and everything, Kev. The last time we won it was when you played in it. And this was a phenomenal team and a great run to the final. And if I read while I have this picture up, I wanted to read this. Now, I know this might be cheeky. This might be an FA Cup. Is this an FA Cup picture, Kev?
That's the replay. Yeah.
Is that the replay? Yeah. But I wanted to read this. In the first round in 93, well, the first leg was Millwall 1, Arsenal 1, Campbell scores. Round 2, we won 3-1 on penalties. You scored at the old Den, Super Kev. Round 3, Derby, a 1-1 draw at the baseball ground. Who scored again? Super Kevin Campbell. Round 3, replay, 2-1, Campbell and Wright score. Then we played Scarborough, Kev.
Yeah. Scarborough away.
What was that like? Because I loosely remember the game.
It was brilliant. And if I remember rightly, I think it was a foggy night as well. It was like all the elements were against you. The pitch was crap and all that. It was a tough one. But we came through. That's the name of the game, Sophie. Not how you play, just get through. And
Winterburn scored. In that game. And it was
a good goal as well. Really good goal.
And it was just a 1-0 win, Kev, against Scarborough. And sometimes that happens in the cup, doesn't it? Especially when you go away from home. And did they even have undersoil heating? I don't think so.
What's that? What did they say? They say, what's that? No, come on. No, none of that, Soph. But I think it was a wet and misty night. And one of them that could really test you. But we were good and we got through. Nigel Winterburn scored a cracker, I think. And we got through.
And then in the 5th round, you played, you didn't know then, but one of your future clubs, Nottingham Forest, at Highbury, and Righty scored 2 goals. And then
that was the one. I think that was the one where this Brian Clough story. I don't know if you've heard the Brian Clough story.
Tell everyone.
No, I'm not going to tell it. You've got to go watch it. You've got to go watch it. You watch it.
All right, Google Brian Clough, Kevin Campbell on
I've had
YouTube,
a few run-ins with Brian Clough.
It's
the legend that is Brian Clough. Oh my God.
It's a great story. And then maybe when we play our semi-final, you could tell it after everyone's seen it, because it's just brilliant. He didn't like you, but in a good way. It was cheeky.
No. It's not. He did like me.
Respect. That's what I'm saying.
No. He did like me, but the way he showed it was just funny.
Exactly.
Oh God.
What a character, Kev.
Absolute brilliant guy. You know what? Absolutely brilliant. Always had good words to say as well. So really, really nice man. But you know, he was a legend, and he loved being a legend as well.
I mean, he was Mourinho before Mourinho. He was the character before any of them. He was, and if you haven't seen The Damned United, you should watch that movie. Absolute classic. Oliver Wilson in the house. Hello, Ollie, one of our good mates. Oliver has a great Formula One podcast too, and also covers the NFL for TalkSport. Was Neil Warnock the manager of Scarborough?
Maybe he was. Maybe. I mean, I didn't really take much notice of who the manager was at Scarborough at the time, but maybe you're right, Oliver. Maybe he was. I mean, he's managed so many clubs, Neil, hasn't he?
What a journeyman manager, right? Crazy stuff. Okay, so sixth round, Kev. Well, the semi-final, Crystal Palace. After Righty, of course, he scored two. He scored a brace in the first leg, and then he scored at Highbury as well. And Linegan was on fire that season when it comes to...
Linegan got his chance. Yeah, he got his chance and he took it.
So then, Kev, we get to the final. And of course, we know the outcome. Look at that. Do you remember that moment? Do you remember that? Do you remember it clearly, Kev?
Of course. Of course, yeah.
Was it filled with champagne yet, or beer, or was it empty?
No, that only happens in the dressing room. You know, that pretend stuff. You know what I mean? But it's so hard to win, Sophie. People just think, oh, you know, it's a League Cup. Trophies and being successful are hard to win. So when you do get a chance to get your hands on some silverware, you've got to take it. So, you know, tonight, Spurs will be devastated tonight because they're thinking to themselves, we could get our hands on some silverware. I know the game ain't over, but them being 3 goals better than Chelsea is going to take some doing. So for us, it was you always got to be up for it, Soph. Always up for it. Because you never know, as George Graham always used to say, you never know if you're ever going to be in this position again. And people do not remember the losers.
And Kev, we haven't won it. And we haven't won it since 93, since this moment and this time with this team, who, by the way, kids, if you remember correctly, they were Sheffield Wednesday
team.
were. And our good friend of the show, John Harkes, scored the first goal. We had John Harkes on. If you've missed the Inside the Dressing Room show with John Harkes, it's a fantastic account that he gives from the Sheffield Wednesday side, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, it really is.
Brilliant.
And to play them in both cup, you know, both domestic cup competitions, you know, we're playing the same team, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yep. I'm going to remove this banner so you guys can see. 93 English FA Cup and League Cup winners, the Gunners, right there.
And there's Stevie Morrow, who scored the winner. He's in his jacket. You see, he's in his blazer.
I wonder why, Kev.
Beside Ian Selly. You see him there? And oopsie daisy. Jeez.
Kev.
I mean, that's a horrific photo, isn't it? I mean, jeez.
I mean, it really is when you look at that. Look at Adams kind of going whoopsie daisy. Right there. Look at Hillier.
Look at Ills, look. Not bothered.
He was enjoying the hospitality.
Yeah, he was on the old bubbles, wasn't he? He was on the old bubbles.
And
he was, yeah.
There's the Captain Fantastic. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. Did I drop you?
Obviously, you know, look, stuff like that kind of happens in games, doesn't it? You go over the top of players. But it just felt so awkwardly. And, you know, it's such a pity because he's such a nice lad. And, you know, to be able to score the winner for the Arsenal in a cup final. So, you know, you want to go up and you want to do all the interviews and you want to go and get your medal and get the applause of the fans. And, you know, me and Stevie came through the ranks together, obviously with Hills and stuff. He was in the youth team, played in the youth team, played in the FA Cup winners team as well, FA Youth Cup winners team. So, you know, for him to get into the team and then score the winner, fantastic. So pleased for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good evening,
Lee
Gianni.
Merce was man of the match. He was brilliant that day. He was, Lee.
He was voted man of the match, and deservedly so.
Yeah.
And there he is. without his tooth. I mean, you just can remember it like it was yesterday.
Honestly, it's such a long time ago. You think, you know, it's 20 years ago virtually. But
it's a long time ago.
It is, but you know what, Sophie?
It's almost 30, Kev. It'll be 30 years next year.
Sorry, 30 years. What am I talking about? Sophie, do you know the crazy thing? It's like, you know, you've seen Thanos when he clicks his finger and he just warps into time. It's like somebody could Thanos, and it's like, here we are now. 30 years has just gone like that, and it feels like it. I look at those pictures, it feels like I'm there with the boys.
Yeah. And look, this was the program.
Unbelievable.
From the final.
30 years, man. Jeez.
Did I just shook you there a little bit? Like with the, you know me, I'm not the maths person on the show at all. No, I can only do maths when I play darts.
Just 30 years, Soph. You know, it's like.
It's gone like that, Kev.
My goodness.
Look at that program. I loved it when it was I mean, we went through like the Rumbelows Cup, the Milk Cup. I loved it when it was the Coca-Cola Cup. As a kid, you just love a bit of Coca-Cola, don't you? But it was a great final, and Merce got the first goal. Steve Morrow got the winner, and it was a great year for the Arsenal. That is you, Kev. There, that's the FA Cup that year.
That was extra time of extra time.
Mm-hmm.
And one each, got to go to penalties on a Thursday night. Lee judges will remember this one, whose his comments up, because, well, there was a bit of celebrating going on, I tell you. And, you know, to win it in the last seconds was like, it's such a relief. It was
amazing. It was absolutely amazing. That whole, and it was crazy. Like, you know, Sheffield Wednesday, Kev, what a club they were. You know, back in that day, Hillsborough was an amazing
fortress. Hillsborough was a fortress.
Yeah.
They battered Man United there. They were a serious outfit. Had loads of quality players. You know, and you got to remember, the person whose boots I used to do at Arsenal, Viv Anderson, played at Sheffield Wednesday at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Carlton Palmer played there. I mean, they had a really good squad. Chris Waddle. They had obviously John Hart, so he was a really top player. Nigel Pearson was there at the time. You know, had a really Mark Bright, David Hurst up front. You know, they had players all over the pitch. John Sheridan in midfield, was really good talented technical player. You know, they were Paul Warhurst. They were good. Chris Woods in goal.
Nielsen, remember Roland Nielsen? Kev, he was a good player.
Nielsen, the Swedish fullback, he was very good. But you know, Chris Bart Williams, they had a squad. So they did have a squad.
And Danny Wilson, who went on to be a manager.
Yeah, they had a squad. They really did.
Yeah, Mark Bright. Good. You mentioned Mark Bright, didn't you?
Yeah, Mark Bright, David Hurst.
Our team was Seaman, O'Leary, Adams, Linnigan, Winterburn, Parler, with his perm, Morrow, Davies, Merce, Wrighty, Campbell, of course. And only 2 subs, Kev.
Yeah.
2 subs. Smudger was on the subs bench, and, of course, young Ian Selly.
Yeah.
As well. And, you know...
See, the thing is with 2 subs, then you've got to be able to have players who are flexible. So you've got to have players who can play different positions just in case you need to change it.
Yeah. So. Someone just put up that they used to drink Tizer back in the day. Do you remember Tizer?
And Cresta. Do you remember Cresta?
God. Do they even make Tizer and Cresta anymore?
I haven't
Cresta's
seen Cresta or Tizer.
I used to love a Tizer.
Listen, you find Carlton Palmer on Twitter. He's back in England now, and still a great guy. Carlton.
Yeah, he's a very interesting. I think he's got a very interesting perspective too when he's on TalkSport. I like hearing his perspective. He's not afraid to kind of, you know, doesn't give you the it doesn't give you like the corporate line at all. And Kev, that's number 7 right there, behind Captain Fantastic David Seaman. You and Pops right behind you.
Me and Pops. Listen, it's yet another special time. You see David Dean on the left. You see him.
Yep, with his hair's all black, still dark there. His hair's not gone white yet.
Yep, and again, that feeling of success, Sophie, it's amazing, because you this is what all the hard work is for, Soph. And that's why sometimes, you know, when you ask, do you rather top 4 or a trophy? Give me this feeling any day of the week. Any day of the week. This is what it's all about. It's about trophies. It really is. And building a legacy, having your little part, and it's only a little part of the big picture of Arsenal. But nobody could ever take it away, Soph. You know, that was the first goal Merce scored.
Look at Ray's hair, Kev. Look at Ray's hair.
Yeah. But, you know, nobody could take it away from us, Soph. And that whole team. And the fans as well. Fans who were there, fans who watched it. Nobody could take it away from us. And it fills me with joy just to see a lot of those pictures. Because we were Brotherhood, Soph. We were.
Yeah. Charlie Dimmock. Wow, these guys can spot stuff. Love it. Danny probably remembers this, like even the...
No, he's talking about Ray Parler.
Yeah. I'm just saying, when you spot stuff and you have the nicknames and you remember it all, and it all comes back. I mean, they're spotting people in the background in all these pictures. Yeah. They're spotting people in the foreground. What was the Charlie Dimmock? Because of
his hair. His hair. She used to do gardening or something, and she had the hair like Ray in it. So.
Yeah. I forget. Wow, it's 30 years, Kev. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, Sophie, you're telling me? I know, darling. It's a long, long time, babe. Long, long time. But do you know what, Sophie? We're still proud of it. Still proud of winning, because we haven't won it since. And look at the sides we've had. We've got to put that right, Soph. Yeah.
That's a good picture.
Yeah, good picture.
This one too.
Yeah.
It's just great. Winning is great. You're 100% correct about that. These moments, like, you'll always have this, you know? You'll always have those moments. And so will we as fans. That's why I kind of wanted to do this a little bit tonight.
You know something? You know, when you grow up as a kid and you think to yourself, if I ever make a footballer, I want a picture with a trophy on my head, you know? And I've got it. There it is. And you never know what you're going to be. And I've always dreamt of having that trophy, a trophy on my head. And that was the picture. Got captured. I'm so blessed, Sophie. I am so blessed to have played for the club I support and love, and have been successful.
Kev, like so I used to pretend, you know, like those old, in us Greeks, we used to have vases in the house, right? But we used to get them from like Greece and Cyprus, you know, with the old mythological figures on it and the gods and stuff. And they always used to have 2 handles on them. And I always used to pretend on like FA Cup Saturday, and whenever there was an FA Cup final, me and my brother, we'd make like the Wembley steps. So we'd we'd put these, we'd get like, my godfather used to be an architect and stuff. And so when he was decorating the house, we'd get the pipes and we'd make out like we were climbing the Wembley steps. And then we get to like the fireplace where it's on top. We used to say to our dad, we used to try and rope our dad into like handing the trophy to us, but he got bored of doing
a dignitary. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, and then we used to, and he was a Spurs fan and I was an Arsenal fan. And so, you know, we're lifting it up and pretending that, you know, we were holding the League Cup or the FA Cup. I can't even imagine like what it feels like to actually do that.
Sophie,
you know?
you've been part of some of the biggest movies around. And when you see them go from A to Z, go out and be classics, maybe you pull some of that. Yeah, you know, I was part of that. But the window for football is so short because these things could be classics over for 50, 60 years. It can just, you know, ramp up. It might not even be a classic to start with, Soph. Then as it goes along, it becomes a classic. Winning these trophies, you have to do it then, because the next season it's a whole. You start again. It's you completely always resetting, Sophie. So that mindset to win, that winning culture, that attitude of the group of players that is there. Remember, there's a lot of players who weren't playing at the start of the season who were in the team at the end. You know, you've got to be strong mentally. You've got to play your part in that group. And, you know, George Graham and that Arsenal squad, we were driven by a great captain, great manager, great captain, but the club's the greatest. So this is why having those pictures and being part of that group means so much.
Yeah.
It does. It means so much to us.
And that's why I agree with whoever, people who call it a tin pot cup, or people who call like the domestic trophies, or let's get rid of the League Cup. Let's narrow the FA Cup. No. Why can't we just keep some traditions the way they are, Kev? Why do we have to change everything for instant gratification? You know, this is why I wanted to chat about this a little bit tonight, because I love the nostalgia. And you know what, Taib? You get a yellow card for your snooze bitmoji. You be careful, it'll be red next time. Are you old? I thought you were old enough to understand what the League Cup meant, Mr. Taib. Eh? Or are you? I'm not going to poo-poo on millennials, because there's a lot of millennials that appreciate the League Cup and the FA Cup. Yes. LOL. Oh, really? Be careful. Absolutely be careful. So, Kev, this is why I'd love our current team to win, just to get that taste, that flavor. This young team, you know, we've had a few of them who were part of the FA Cup team last season, but these new players that have come in, to get a little bit of a taste of that and to win a trophy, whether it's the League Cup or we do the FA Cup again. And why not both?
Well, it's 2 seasons ago, so realistically, it's 2 seasons ago that we won the FA Cup. And some of them were in and around it, but they weren't starting like they are now, where they can really make a difference. So I think it's the key for our future, Sophie. If we want to be a winner, we've got to start winning trophies. That's what we've got to do. And I know we're young and I know we're learning. But when you get to be this close, you've got to take it. You've got to take it, because you win and then all of a sudden you realize that's what it takes. Every club has to go through it.
Yeah.
Every club.
Yep.
And some are just better at it than others, obviously.
Yeah, they are. Kenny, I don't know what your question was. I missed it. There's like 300 people in live chat, and I'm managing stuff tonight. Well, I manage it all the time, but I may have missed it.
Yeah, that was brilliant times. Even as a youngster, and I weren't even, when the team won the first one, so when we went to go with the team to the town hall and stuff, you know.
It was the best. Those parades were the best. And you're right, Gooner Russ. That World Club Cup championship and United ducking out of the FA Cup that year, that was the beginning of the opportunity to start fielding weaker teams. It really did start at that time. I really do think so. Here's the question. Super Kev, I watched the documentary about Wrighty. He said Arsenal fans didn't want because they think you are far better. Is that true? Didn't want him because...
No, that you got to remember, at the first, we were title winners. And maybe him coming in would upset the apple cart. But I got injured in that pre-season. And obviously the manager made the move and brought Wrighty in. And we kind of changed a little bit as a team. It was Wrighty-centric for a bit. And, we had to work some things out. Then the manager who thought myself and Wrighty couldn't play together, then we played together, and then we started to make some moves. And unfortunately, Alan Smith suffered a little bit because he weren't quite in the side. And then we worked out how to play the three of us in Europe, etc., and culminating in the next season, Smudger getting the winner in our European campaign. So we worked out a few things, obviously, and that's what good players do.
Yeah. I'm sure Ethelston is not a Spurs fan. I'm pretty sure he's a Gooner in his heart. Magic, Wrighty's arrival had a much bigger negative impact on Smudge, unfortunately. He wrote about it in his book. Yeah, I mean, this is football, right?
High level. Yeah.
Yep, this is. And I think winning a trophy will give the youngsters a massive boost, 100%. It's just like Kev says, Kev would rather win a trophy. Would you rather we won the League Cup than finish in the top 4 this season, Kev?
Yeah. I would, definitely. Because
even though you know how important it is
no,
for us
I
to
know
get back
what.
into
Listen,
Europe.
I know what top 4 brings, but top 4 doesn't mean these young boys know how to win. There's a difference. And as a football club, we want that winner's taste. When they go away for close season and they come back and then the team falters this, and you've got that pot in front of you that trophy in front of you that you want. That means something. Finishing the top 4, yeah, you've got a European campaign, but you've got no pot in front of you, so you're not a winner. You're not a winner by qualifying in for the Champions League. You're not a winner. You're only a winner when you win. And we want winners. That's why there's been so much locking horns on the inside of our Arsenal family, Soph, because we haven't seen that mentality, that desire to win. Because at the end of the day, Soph, give me a trophy, or you qualify for Champions League and you see some of the best teams in Europe, but you never win it. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. My biggest concern about just winning the League Cup is exactly what Stephen is saying. We get into that stupid Europa conference, which is a bit of a pickle. But hopefully then if you win the FA Cup, then you get to dodge the Europa conference and go into the Europa League.
Yeah, but you're talking about top. If you finish 5th, you qualify for the Europa.
No, I know, but yeah, I mean, if we
so
do,
you're saying top 4.
If
do you
we
ever
don't,
get top, you still could win the League Cup and finish 5th because it's not top 4. But whether you finish 4th,
I should have said
5th,
out of a European spot. You're so cheeky. I love it.
But
yeah, no.
For me, I'd much rather win trophies.
I would love to do what you guys did in '93 and win them both. That would be delicious and delightful.
100%. To be a winner, Sophie, is so difficult in football. When you get the opportunity, our team, our boys, our club need to take it. Because For all them top four, Sophie, what has it got us?
I know.
For all of those top fours, what has it got us?
I love this question. I've never asked you this.
I've told you already.
So much information to digest for this brain
No,
sometimes.
but as soon as I mention it, you're going to know.
Your mum.
Exactly. That's with
Yep.
Mama.
Yes, I remembered.
That's with Mum.
I'm going to have to take a picture with one of them next time I'm in England. Are they heavy, Kev?
Not too heavy, but they're real. That's the key. They're real. So,
I love that they're with your mum. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, they're hers. They're not mine, Soph.
Because of her. She's the hero.
She brought me into this world. 100%. They're hers.
It's so brilliant to know that that's the case, and that history. And I remember, I don't know if I have it still, but I love that picture where you're signing your contract and your mum and your sister are with you. And I think it's Peter Hill-Woods in that picture too, isn't he?
Yeah, that wasn't no contract signing. That was at a function.
A function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it was, because back then, Soph, you never really took pictures.
No.
Signing the contracts when I was coming through. All of a sudden, that's a good thing to see now, isn't it? Modern day football. But you were just, Sophie, I was just happy to sign for Arsenal.
South London boy, signing for the Gunners, supported them.
I supported Arsenal as a kid, to sign. As I say, I remember waiting for the postman to deliver the letter about whether I'm accepted to be a YTS. I remember it like it was yesterday.
That's crazy.
Sophie, and that was over 30 years ago.
That was over.
Trust me, and that was over 30 years ago, So
it's so epic. And then you went on to have moments like that.
I mean, look, there's the chairman and the chief exec there.
Yeah, on the right to us.
Yeah, Peter Hill-Wood and Ken Fryer in the dressing room with us. That's a football club, Soph. That's a football club.
Kev, back in the day, they used to send letters. I mean, like, you'd get a letter on the Arsenal masthead.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like legit stuff.
Robert, I am so blessed, honestly. And listen, talking about it just brings back all the memories.
Yeah, it's great. I love I love that you popped in tonight, because I wanted to do something like this with our game being moved tomorrow, trying to keep up our positive week after a disappointing weekend. And, just kind of go back to the last time we won it, the fact that, we could do it again. It's been so long. And then when I was thinking, holy crap, it's like 30 years. We got the Brixton folks in the house.
Like Cole Harbour Lane, Electric Avenue, the song. So
you're gonna rock on to Electric Avenue. A couple people asking your connection with Jamaica. Of course, we know.
Yeah, both parents are Jamaican, and obviously Brixton has a big Caribbean population, and a lot of my friends were from Jamaican heritage, or West Indian heritage, Barbados and stuff, and then African heritage. So, yeah, that's the link with Jamaica.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gooner Rusk. The Glenn Cockrell punch.
At the time we didn't even realize what happened. Pops was just really somber and quiet after the game. And it ain't until I got home and I put the news on that I actually saw, because it wasn't like now where you get all the replays right there. I saw it on the news. And I was like, Pops,
it was so unlike him.
Wow, but he snapped. And I mean, it nearly finished his career, so because he was out for a long time, and then when he started getting back, he started picking up injuries. He picked up a really nasty thigh injury that had to be operated on and stuff. But Pops hung on in there, and you look at the Cup Winners' Cup final, and you look around. Pops is there, man. He's there. He's playing.
Yeah. Give me hope, Joanna. Hope, Joanna. Give me hope. Oh, man. Okay. Well, look, we're going to do Trip Down Memory Lane, as you know, one of our favorite shows. We do that when Hilsy's on too, but we're going to have Rich and Universal Greek on to go down a trip down memory lane. If you want to be on the show and share your trips and your memories, just hit us up, the Highbury Squad at gmail.com, the Highbury Squad at gmail.com. We got a new Inside the Dressing Room coming your way as well. And of course, the usual stuff. Super Kev has joined us tonight. He's working tomorrow night, but he will be back on Friday for Kevin Says. He's going to have some superb questions lined up for you. Hopefully the Forest game, Kev, will go ahead and we don't have to wait too long again to watch our Arsenal play football. And you know what, Kev? There's 300 plus in live chat.
You know what to do, people. I want minimum 190. 190, do a Vinny. Hit it, smash it, touch it, or nut it. Give us that like. Come on.
I posted that to announce the showtime tonight. It was later because of the football. And I posted a picture that of Vinny, and everyone's like, I can hear Kev saying, "It's it, nut it."
It. It's it, yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
the
I
likes.
licked it. A good man. Good one.
We'll do like an old school Q&A soon, we'll definitely do that for everybody, because I know you guys love these shows so much. And you're right, he epitomizes humility and many good values. That's 100%. We'll do that, because I know that you guys really dig these nostalgic shows, and we do quite a few of them, and sometimes we do them spontaneously like tonight as well. It's what makes the Highbury Squad have a little bit of heart, and you guys have a lot of heart too. And Taib, if you would like your yellow card to be rescinded, then please do send a note to the advisory board, and they will take it into consideration.
Don't get Newman to do any art for you.
Oh, very cool stuff. Super Kev.
So do you have I have one request. Do you not have one of the manager and the staff?
Maybe not on me.
Yeah, because it's always,
I have those. I have them all, but sometimes I have to delete to add more pictures.
Because you know why
the one outside the coach, that was a great picture.
We have discussed management and winners and all this kind of stuff, but it is always the players that go over the line. So it is, but you'd still need somebody is the driver. And that's what the management and a manager and the staff are. They're the key drivers of the talent. They drive the talent. They get the talent prepared and ready for battle. And once the players cross the white line, everything you've done, everything you've learned, if you're prepared and you're mentally switched on, that's when it should happen. That's why I always come back with, it's the players. It's the players, it's the players, it's the players. Because I've been there and I know what it takes. And it's frustrating for some of the fans, obviously, because you wear your heart on your sleeves, and what you're seeing directly, you think it's him, it's the manager. But it's a combo. It really is. And again, once them players do cross, that's why I always like to see George Graham, Stuart Houston, or Theo, and all the backroom staff. Gary Lewin was in a couple of pictures, and you see all, because you've been through a lot of the heartache, a heartbreak. You've been through tough times. there's ups and downs at every football club, stuff that people wouldn't dream. You have no idea what happens behind closed doors, trust me, especially back then where there was none of these around.
Can you
Trust
imagine?
me.
Can you
Trust me.
imagine, Kev?
We've had, let me tell you something. At Arsenal, we've had more meetings than the cabinet. I'm telling you.
See, this is what I love, right? I was talking the other day about watching Man in the Arena, the Tom Brady thing, and especially when, you know, things broke down a couple seasons ago where his TB12 coach was asked not to be on the sideline and all that. And Tom's like, you know, why does everyone have to know everything?
Yeah.
He goes, you ask me and I say no. He said, we live in such a world now where everyone feels like they have to know everything. If I have a private conversation with like Bill Belichick, it's private. It may not be what I want to hear. We may not agree, but why do I have to tell everyone the content of that conversation? And that's what I like about the fact that there's still that mystery. Like you guys really had a, I'm not saying there's not a code these days, but everything gets out so easily, you know?
Yeah.
And
you
I
know,
found that interesting that he said that.
And you know, Sophie, if you notice, look at the teams who win. You don't hear anything. Think
No.
about it. You don't hear anything. Pep is the spokesman at City. Klopp is the spokesman at Liverpool. And they've been probably the biggest winners of late. You don't hear anything come out.
And that's why, like, immediately, you know, like Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Pep shuts it down. You know, when it was brewing that there was something going on between Salah and Mane, they shut it down.
Shut it down.
You know,
I mean, even tonight, obviously Lukaku plays. It's all huggy, kissy. That's done with now. He's apologized. We move on. They don't need this smoke. They don't. But very rarely these things come out at these clubs. It's only when you're doing bad that these things come out.
Which is why, Kev, I do respect the fact that Arteta wanted to get out last January, this time last year, the snitches in the dressing room, and why he's removed Aubameyang from the team. I'm not saying Aubameyang was a snitch in any way, but just anything that upsets that environment.
Yep,
and
the
the
rhythm,
rhythm
the
of
environment, the mentality, the young mentality as well, Soph. And because you're relying on youngsters, you don't want distractions. You know, this team done so well, especially with Aubameyang being omitted, stripped to the captaincy and omitted. So, you know, we talked about doing the Amazon and all that. It's going to be quite interesting to watch now, isn't it?
It is, but also remember, you guys, being in the industry, you're going to see what they want you to see.
Of course.
That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's going to give you a glimpse into some stuff, but
you're not going to see. You're not going to see warts and all. No chance. No,
that's not how it works. And no one will ever write the Tuesday Club Chronicles ever. They'll never give that away.
Some things, Sophie, are best left alone.
Oh, look at you guys. I love it. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Super Kev, as always, thanks for sharing your memories with us. Just brilliant. Love it. Thanks for jumping in tonight and for indulging me a little bit in kind of, you know, this. And I love doing these kinds of shows, as you know. Kev, let the kids hear what you have to say. Remember, there's 320 of you in live chat. I know you want us to go on, but we're going to duck out at this hour. Let everyone go get some sleep, especially Taib. God bless him.
Well, I just want to say thanks for joining us. It's a surprise show. You know, good to see you all jump on and look after yourself. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and jump in a nice hot shower now. I'm going to go and jump in a nice hot shower and I'm going to just chill out, watch a little something, and then get myself to bed. So, everyone, wherever you are in the world, have a good day, have a good afternoon, have a lovely evening and a good sleep and a good night. And you know what's next, squaddies? hostess with the mostest. Thank you very much, Soph, for contacting me. And at ease, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.